Hello, my students. How are you doing today? It's time to get this party started, okay? Today's class is going to be a little bit different than what the theme of this lesson is today. Or no, the theme of the week, because the theme of the week are intensifiers, very, the different ways of saying very. Well, today we're going to learn about tag questions because to a certain extent, tag questions are used to intensify something, and sometimes it's used to soften something, and that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? Now, what are tag questions? Well, think of something, for example, in Spanish that we do sometimes. So, for example, we may say something like, él fue ayer, ¿no? So, why do we say no? Like, let's say we're talking about our friend, y no estamos seguros si fue ayer o no. So, él fue ayer, ¿no? You see, that no at the end is a tag question. We're using it to reaffirm something, to reassure something. Well, English is filled with this, and English does it in different ways, and it depends on what intonation we use. Depending on how we use these tag questions, and depending on which intonation pattern we use. Does it rise up? Do we say, for example, it's hot outside, isn't it? Or do we say, it's hot outside, isn't it? What's the difference? Well, there is a difference, and that is what we are going to talk about today. Tag questions. Now, it all depends on which intonation you use. So, for example, if I say, he was here today, wasn't he? So let's say I'm talking with Nidia, and Milady's with us. Milady's talking to us. And I say, Nidia, Milady asks us, where's Santiago? And I say, he was here today, wasn't he? And I turn to Nidia and I say, wasn't he? I'm doing that to seek verificación. You see, I was like, he was here today, wasn't he? And then Nidia turns and says, yeah, he was. So with wasn't he, with rising intonation, con la entonación como de una pregunta. He was here today, wasn't he? I'm seeking verificación acerca de lo que estoy diciendo. Okay, so he was here today, wasn't he? But here's another example. It isn't raining again, is it? Now, here we have two different types of questions here. They're both tag questions, and they both have rising intonation. Las dos tienen intonación que está levantándose como una pregunta, right? So, he was here today, wasn't he? Seeking verification. So, in a way, we kind of want the answer to be yes, because if not, it means that we're going crazy and that we're imagining things. But for the second question, it's a little bit different. And if you noticed, we reversed the polarity. ¿Qué es polaridad? Well, in the first one, we have something positive. He was here today. And then we have the negative. Wasn't he? Right? We don't say he was here today. Was he? No, it's he was here today. Wasn't he? So positivo y negativo to seek verification. Y las dos están teniendo intonación que está subiendo. But in the second one, it's the opposite. It isn't raining again, is it? Negative first, positive second. In this case, I don't want the answer to be yes. I want the answer to be no, because I don't want it to rain. So maybe I want to go to the beach today. And yesterday, I couldn't go because it was raining. Estaba lloviendo ayer. So I'm with Nidia and the lady again. And I say, oh, ladies, it isn't raining again, is it? So maybe I hear some thunder outside, or maybe someone says it's raining. I'm like, oh, it isn't raining again, is it? I probably know it is raining. Most likely I know it's gonna rain, but I'm using it as a way of showing that I don't want it to rain, because you know that I want to go to the beach. So it's like saying in español, no está lloviendo, ¿verdad? It's like, no está lloviendo otra vez, ¿sí? O no está lloviendo otra vez, ¿cierto? So we can do it with the word right as well. So we can say, it isn't raining again, right? But we can also use tag question. So it isn't raining again, is it? So las dos tienen intonación que va subiendo. So, for example, again, right? Adriana says, "Where is Santiago?" And I say, "He was here today." Wasn't he? ¿Verdad? Was he not? Le digo a Nidia, "He was here today." Wasn't he? Para verificar, rising intonation. Pero en una pregunta como, en una frase como, "It isn't raining again." Is it? Ahí se cambió la polaridad porque en la primera tenemos positivo, "He was here today." Negativo, "Wasn't he?" Para verificar, mismo intonación yendo para arriba. Y en el segundo es, "It isn't raining again." Is it? Otra vez, intonación yendo para arriba, pero tenemos negativo primero. We have negative first and then positive. In this case, we don't want it to be raining. No queremos que la respuesta sea que sí. En la primera sí, queremos que sea que sí, pero en la segunda no. In the second one, we don't want it to rain. Y we're using it in a way to kind of form conversation. That's my opinion on it. This is something that grammar books don't say. My opinion is you want to start a conversation or you want people to understand how you feel about something. Okay? Because there's grammar and then there's what you mean by what you say. ¿Por qué estás usando esta construcción gramatical? Es para formar conversación, right? So, "It isn't raining again." Is it? And both of these have rising intonation. But then we also have tag questions that have, we also have tag questions that has the intonation going lower. Not rising like the one we just showed, but lower. And this changes it up a little bit. So we have, for example, he was here today. Wasn't he? All right, now, here we have the intonation going lower and it changes it. Okay, so for example, let's say that Adrian works at a restaurant, okay? And there's a guest who likes Adrian. Right? Let's say that there's this lady who likes Adrian, una mujer que le encanta Adrian. But Adrian doesn't like the lady, right? And let's change this to she, right? So Adrian gets to the restaurant y se da cuenta que los empleados están actuando un poquito raros, right? Porque la mujer acababa de haber entrado o estuvo ahí buscando a Adrián temprano en el día, right? So Adrian goes to them and he notices, se da cuenta que algo está un poquito chistoso. Y él dice, "She was here today, wasn't she?" Ahí él no está buscando verificación. Un poquito de eso, pero él sabe que ya estuvo ahí. Mira la diferencia. La primera pregunta que yo estoy buscando verificación de Nadia, yo digo, "He was here today, wasn't he?" Como él estuvo aquí, ¿verdad? La segunda, cuando la intonación está bajando, cambia el meaning del sentence. Digamos que la misma historia, pero Nidia tiene un hombre que siempre está buscándolo en el trabajo, ¿verdad? Y a los empleados le dice, "He was here today, wasn't he?" Como, yo sé que estuvo aquí, solo necesito que me digas, ¿verdad? Like, that changes the meaning of what you're saying, ¿verdad? Estuvo aquí, ¿verdad? ¿Verdad? Él estuvo aquí hoy, ¿verdad? ¿Ves la diferencia? La primera estás verificando para mostrar que en verdad estuvo la persona aquí, ¿verdad? Like, "He was here today, wasn't he?" Alguien está buscando a otra persona y, digamos, genuinamente quiere saber dónde estuvo. Y tú dices, "Oh, él estuvo aquí, ¿verdad?" Y preguntas para verificar. El segundo es un poquito diferente, right? "He was here today, wasn't he?" You see? Y esa bajo de intonación nos permite, it allows us to, how can I say this? Ask questions and look for an answer. So for example, I'll give you an example that I read in a grammar book, and it's this one. "Why, you're up early today, aren't you?" Okay, so let's say que tienes a alguien durmiendo en tu casa, all right? Son las 4 de la mañana. Y ves que están despiertos y están alistándose. You're like, "Well, why, you're up early today, aren't you?" Tú no estás preguntando, "Why are you up early today?" No, ese why aquí es un pedazo de gramática para mostrar que estás sorprendida con lo que estás viendo, right? Why, the Mets won yesterday. Digamos que te encantan los Marlins y dicen que están perdiendo mucho ahorita, ¿verdad? O te encantan los Dolphins, ¿verdad? Y los Dolphins ganaron ayer. Y tú dices, why? The Dolphins won yesterday. Why está mostrando que estás sorprendida acerca de algo, ¿verdad? No estás preguntando por qué estás levantado tan temprano hoy, right? So, why, you're up early today, aren't you? ¿Verdad? Ese aren't you, ¿por qué estás preguntando aren't you? Aren't you es are you not, ¿verdad? Es como decir, bueno, hoy te paraste temprano, ¿verdad? O hoy te levantaste temprano. En español lo hacemos con intonación, estamos buscando una respuesta, queremos saber por qué es que la persona se levantó tan temprano. Uno puede decir, hoy te levantaste temprano, ¿ah? ¿Por qué dices, ah? Estás buscando una respuesta, ¿verdad? Oh, hoy te levantaste temprano, ¿ah? Obviamente quieres saber por qué. No estás diciendo por qué te levantaste temprano. Lo estás suavizando un poquito. Bueno, eso es lo que estás haciendo aquí, ¿verdad? Con esa intonación bajando. Estás mostrando que estás buscando una respuesta, ¿verdad? So, well, you're up early today, aren't you? ¿Verdad? You're up early today, aren't you? ¿Verdad? La persona probablemente diría, sí, tengo un vuelo. Yes, I have a flight at 6 a.m. Te responde, ¿verdad? Puede ser otra situación. It can be another situation. So, for example, you see your friend eating a lot. And you say, well, tu amigo se comió la comida bien rápido, right? You ate the food very fast, didn't you? ¿Verdad? So, hablemos acerca de gramática. Let's talk about grammar. Here, you are up early, aren't you? So, cogemos el are, el verbo de are, ¿verdad? De you are, de ser, ¿verdad? You are up early today. Y lo repetimos negativamente, ¿verdad? Aren't you? Es como decir, are you not, ¿verdad? So, you're up early today, aren't you? ¿Verdad? En el segundo, usamos el did, porque did es el que marca verbo, ¿verdad? So, you ate es de comer. Well, you ate the food very fast, didn't you? Y ahí es como una combinación, es a combination of showing that you noticed, mostrando que te diste cuenta que la persona se comió la comida rápida, pero a la misma vez estás como queriendo saber por qué, ¿verdad? Es como que estás buscando una respuesta. And the person says, yeah, es que no he comido como en 5 días, digamos, ¿verdad? So, for example, well, you're up early today, aren't you? Estás buscando respuesta. Well, you ate the food very fast, didn't you? Y la persona diría, yes, I didn't eat in 5 days, I'm starving, I was hungry. You see, so es impresionante como que how when you change the intonation, si va subiendo la entonación significa algo, si va bajando la entonación significa otra cosa. You see, with tag questions, all right? It's very, very interesting how that works in the English language, okay? Sometimes we want to show that we were correct about something, que estuvimos correctos acerca de algo y la persona estaba incorrecta. So you can say, for example, I was right, wasn't I? See, so I was right, wasn't I? So let's say, for example, that you tell your friend, listen, don't go buy the new iPhone because the line is going to be extremely long and they're going to run out of iPhones. Se van a acabar los iPhones antes que llegues al frente de la línea. Don't do it, don't go. Y tu amigo va de tonto y va a comprar el iPhone y él regresa y ves que llegó sin el iPhone y tú dices, I was right, wasn't I? Otra vez, estás usando esa misma entonación. No estás diciendo, I was right, wasn't I? Aunque tú también puedes usar eso en otra situación, ¿verdad? Buscando verificación de otras personas para que muestran que sí en realidad estuviste cierto acerca de una cosa, ¿verdad? Aquí estás bajando la entonación mostrando, I was right, te dije, ¿no? Es como decir, te dije, ¿no? También puedes decir, I told you so, ¿verdad? I told you so. A mí me encanta más el I was right, wasn't I? Porque causa que la persona refleje en la situación y probablemente aprenda de algo, en vez de decir I told you so, que es más como si te dije y nomás estás diciendo que estuviste correcto y la persona se va a enojar contigo, no va a reflejar acerca de la situación. Mejor decir I was right, wasn't I? Tuve la razón, o no. En inglés lo hacemos, en español lo hacemos con o no, como o no, ¿verdad? Estuve correcto, o no. En inglés lo hacemos con tag questions. I was right, wasn't I? You see? Otra vez usamos el was y lo ponemos negativo, ¿ok? So you have my phone, haven't you? Ahí tú podrías usar, ahí cuando podemos jugar un poquito con esto, ¿verdad? You have my phone, haven't you? Ahí yo usaría el don't. Sí, you have my phone, don't you? So, no siempre repites exactamente el mismo verbo. You don't have to repeat. Me encanta que hiciste ese comentario porque estás casi corrigiendo lo que dije, que es muy bueno, porque yo impliqué que siempre se repite el mismo verbo y la realidad es que algunas veces no, algunas veces se cambia el verbo con don't, ¿verdad? So, you have my phone, don't you? ¿Verdad? O you got my phone, don't you? So, también se puede jugar un poquito acerca de eso. Y this is an amazing situation to remind you of a softener, porque algunas veces, aunque lo hacemos para hacer algo más directo, we do it to make something more direct, like I was right, wasn't I? Sometimes we use tag questions to soften. Remember this one? We can say, do you have the time? Right? But we can also say, you wouldn't have the time, would you? Remember how I taught you guys that? That's a tag question. And we use it to soften a question. So, you wouldn't have the time, would you? Remember that one? That softener? That's a tag question. So sometimes tag questions can be used to make something more direct, or sometimes they can be used to make something softer. So, you wouldn't have the time, would you? That's a softener, right? You wouldn't have an extra toothbrush, would you? Here it's softening, right? So we have negative here, positive here. Okay, it could also be used to ask questions like to soften with other verbs, right? So you don't have you don't have an extra dollar, do you? So for example, you don't have an extra dollar. You can use it like that too. You don't have an extra dollar, do you? To soften a statement, okay? Things of that sort. So, if you have any questions about tag questions, that was spontaneous. Ask me, okay? We're having a quiz on this tomorrow. I posted the quiz about yesterday's class. I still have to post like 5 classes, I think, on the private YouTube account. So I haven't had the chance to do it. But I'll do it as soon as possible, my students, okay? Excellent job today. That's all for today. See you next time.